gathered some scrap wood. I used a 1/4 inch by, I believe it was about 2.5 inches wide stock for the handle job. The EcoHawk is 2 inches across, so you want to have about a 1/2 inch allowance at least. So if you find a 1 by, or a, I don't know what that is, a 1/4 by 3 inch piece of oak, it's probably 2.5 inches wide. So that's what you're aiming for. I cut just what I needed for the length of the EcoHawk for the IKE Handle project and taped it to the remaining part of the stock. In hindsight, clamping it might have been better, but the tape was easy and available. Would have worked either way. I used a drill bit that was slightly smaller than the 1/4 inch spec of the holes and slots of the EcoHawk. The reason I did that was to not mess up the enamel finish inside the holes on the EcoHawk, and I finished the holes later with a true 1/4 inch bit. I'm not sure sequence is too important in drilling. Again, clamping would have been smart, but the sequence that I'm showing here is probably the way to go. Do the back hole closest to the nexus bit, then do the next slot somewhere in the middle third, I would say, or the third of the slot closest to the hole you just drilled. Then do the other hole. This is essentially where if you're going to mess up by not clamping it, this is the time. I was pretty careful about what I was doing, and it turned out fine. So you drill that hole, and then again in the middle third to the third closest to the tonto spike, in other words, away from the bit. The hole is your anchor point, and your slot gives you a lot of leeway in the tolerance of how the handle goes on. And when you're done, it doesn't move at all. It's great. By doing it by hand, you actually cause misalignments in the holes. Even if you're an old hand at a hand drill, no pun intended, the misalignments actually help, I think, hold the bolts better than if you had all the through holes perfectly aligned as with a drill press or mill. Here it is. I always try to conserve, waste not, want not. I'm cutting just the wood that I need for the most part. I could have been more conservative than this, but this is a quick project. You should always have hand tools at hand, but if you have something like a table saw, just do that.